Preston, Eric Seals, Skylar King. You can reach us at Skylar iPrep, at Eric iPrep, and of course on the Illinois Prep message boards. If you didn't know, now you do. 3 straight state titles. Coach Dave and Sarah's got the Hawks on cruise control. 40-2 in their last 42 football games. 28-0 and 2 titles. Then last year, 10 years from now, if the trivia question comes up, Schaumburg and Wheaton South.
They did it.
Losing their first 2. So all that means is they just got another 12-game winning streak going into this season. So, it'll very likely be 26 games after this season because the Hawks, last year was the year. You better have got them last year. If you didn't get them last year, I don't think you're getting them this year.
You're not getting them this year. They got a lot of people coming back.
Including maybe the number 1 guy on the All Eric Seals running back team.
Is that so?
Mr. Preston? I don't know. You tell me. I remember you talking about him after you.
I'm a fan. You know what? After seeing him at the state championship from a mile up high and seeing how he ran, I told him, I'm like, dude, you run really hard. You know what I'm saying? So very talented young man right there. Matt Alviti, supposed to be one of the best quarterbacks in the state. Just the fact that they're coming back after the run that they made last year is what makes it scary. They were juniors, Now they're coming back as seniors, and it can only get scarier, for other teams.
But I mean, if you look at what, if you're in Maine South Conference, find a way to get out of there.
Don't find a way to beat them. Find a way to get out of the conference.
Because after those the 2. The Schaumburg, it was a hard-fought game, 12 points. They got whomped on by Wheaton South at the game we were at.
Yep.
That was the point where it's like, this season's either going to get completely derailed or they're going to be like,
going to win every game after that.
That was the wake-up call, and we're better than this.
It was.
And it was 42-0. Against Highland Park, 49-0 against Maine West, 55-21 against Niles West, 49-8 against Evanston, 48-12 against Waukegan, 55-16 against Glenbrook South, who, by the way, I think is a preseason top 25 team this year. Yep. 42-21 against New Trier, 47-0 against Niles Notre Dame to close out the season, then 36-12 against Bartlett, 20-9 against Stevenson.
That's big for them.
That was a team, Kevin Earl, who... I think was probably the second best senior quarterback in the state after Riley O'Toole last year in terms of a drop back passer type.
But their defense keeping them only down to 20 points, that's pretty big.
Yeah. And then 29-22 game against Loyola. Talk about that one. You were there.
That was the game where Maine South got in trouble with the IHSA for having crowd control. They had too many people on the sideline, and I remember because Scally didn't make that game, and I texted.
I was at a.
You were at swim meet.
It was the state swim meet.
The state swim meet. And I remember I told him, like, dude, I had to go because I'm always on the guest sideline because I think it looks better when I shoot the game. And so I had to go to the home sideline. I'm like, I've never seen so many people on the sideline. But at the end of the game, Maine South ended up taking it away from Loyola. Very emotional game. A lot of people on the field. The 2 coaches, talked after the game, and I don't think they even want their teams to shake hands. So it put a bad taste in Loyola's mouth against Maine South, and a lot of people weren't big fans, for the way Maine South was doing their thing. But when you're on top, everybody's going to try to bring you down.
Yeah. And they dominated Mount Carmel in that title game, 28-7. Again, it's someone's going to really have to play a perfect football game. And I don't mean anybody here. Someone in the playoffs.
In the playoffs,
is going to have to play a perfect. I don't. Although all 9 teams on their schedule can play perfect football games, they're not going to come within 2 touchdowns.
And people may be surprised and say, well, why aren't you talking about the matchup between Wheaton South and Maine South? I don't think it's going to be nearly the matchup as people think it will be.
We talked about Glenbard West. Wheaton South didn't exactly. Get the sportsmanship award.
Talk about that a little bit from last year.
The Dogs weren't exactly called off in that football game.
It was fourth quarter. They were up by how much, and they were still chucking it.
Yeah, and not only were they still chucking it, they were still chucking it with a Division I quarterback. So it's not like they said, "Hey, backups,
Titus Davis,
go run the offense, see what you can do.
And if that's the way you want to go, that's fine. But realize when the team, as Maine South will, get a chance to come back at you, I would not be surprised if Coach and Sarah just try to lay it on them.
Yeah. Needless to say, I think Wheaton South's pretty happy this game's not going to be on national television.
No, but it will be. But they're Park Ridge, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be up there in Park Ridge, so that is going to be one hostile environment. Yeah. Very hostile. And the fact that is that week 2?
Week 2.
That means Wheaton South played Glenbard West the first week on national television.
Yeah.
That's going to be that's definitely perfectly set up for Maine South to just go through Wheaton South.
Yeah. I mean, 3 Matt Rogers scoring runs last year. Mm-hmm. He's in college. Mm-hmm. 3 Riley O'Toole passing touchdowns last year. He's in college.
Did you go to Titus Davis? Yeah, one of those.
I think at least twice.
At least twice.
Titus Davis, 41-yard touchdown and 16-yard touchdown. So, college.
He's in college.
Yeah. Man. Maybe Wheaton South's bus will get lost on the way to
no, that won't happen. Coach, head coach, he has too much respect. Oh, they're gonna go and give them their all. I just think that experience wise, I think it's just gonna be 2 different teams. I think it might be an exact flip flop of what happened last year.
Well, and then just to briefly touch on Wheaton South is because obviously they're not in our top 10.
No, they're not.
We sort of get the feeling they might still be in some other people's top 10s when they start this season. I don't know if anyone's going to pick Wheaton South to win one of those first 2 games. Mm-hmm. So the question for them becomes, can they do what Maine South did last year and, circle the wagons and say, we're better than this. Let's get it together.
I don't think so. And the reason is, I will say, it's not the talent on the team, but the conference. Compared the Central Suburban League to the DVC, there's no comparison when it comes to football. Naperville Central, Naperville North, Glenbard North,
just like
Glenbard
West, just like Glenbard West and Maine South. There's probably not too many teams in that conference happy with what's happening against Wheaton South the last couple
years. I put a little article out there. I said Wheaton South versus the world, because Wheaton South has been beating people up for the last 2 years, which is fine. They had the talent to do it. But I know everybody in the DVC is licking their chops.
Right. You know what reminds me of? The Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush run at USC.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And, it doesn't last forever.
No, it doesn't.
So if you ran
Especially
it
at a public school.
If you ran it up on some people, then what goes around comes around.
Oh, yeah. So it should be interesting. But I think Maine South's going to have a successful year. They already have the record for only team to go win 3 state titles in a row.
4-peat.
Now they're going for the 4-peat, and I don't think there's much stopping them.
Yeah. Here we go. Throw it down.
No, I'm putting it in the state title. Who they're going to match up against, I'm not sure. I think, as we said in the other podcast, I feel like some teams are going to go up and down with this new with the new rules and the new not academic standards, the enrollments. So there might be, you might have a Simeon in 8A. We don't know.
Let's hold that thought. We'll take a break. When we come back, since Maine South's our number 1, looks like they're going to cruise control through the regular season. Let's discuss, if you're Maine South, what's the team you would at least want to see in the playoffs? When we come back here at IllinoisPrep.com. Back in here. So you mentioned Simeon. That was the first team I was going to bring up before the break. You said Simeon. And because of that talent, maybe the most talented team in the state, talent's always scary.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of is the discipline there? Is that confidence there? If, as we talked about before, if they get down a couple scores, can they bounce back from that? I mean, is that the team in your mind, Simeon? That'd be a scary one.
No, I don't think if I was Maine South, I would be as worried about Simeon. I think the best chance would have to be the close.
Now, how about this?
How you gonna let me finish my team?
Because I think
who am I gonna say?
Glenbard West.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Loyola. That was the closest game that they've had out of everybody of the year. 8A team, very comparable to him. Malcolm Weaver's gonna be back again this year.
And as we talked, losing 15 starters, that's like bringing everybody.
That's regular for them, and it was a very emotional game.
Right.
That game could have went either way, and so I think their best matchup would be. The matchup that they don't want to see, I would say it would be Loyola. I wouldn't be afraid of Simeon, I wouldn't be afraid of Mount Carmel. They just went through that again. Who else is in 8A?
Nobody.
That's the thing.
I mean,
8A's that class.
2602. I mean, they're definitely not on the high end.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so that'd be my thing. I don't think that's low enough. But
unless some really freaky teams changed up.
If they could sneak into 7A.
But they don't want to do that, though. Why would you want to?
No, I'm not saying they. I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
If it was one of those where now, that's the interesting thing, though. Could there be a situation? I don't think Maine South's scared of anybody.
No.
But I mean, to say you want to jump up,
jump down.
No, jump up. Like if they somehow are low enough to be in 7A and they say we want to go to 8A, why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah, you get in 8A if you can.
I wonder, what are the restrictions on that?
I'm not sure, but at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, I don't say the end of the day anymore. At the beginning of the day, I want the record, I want the ring, I want the trophy.
Oh, no,
if I'm going to look back 20 years and be like, man, yeah, we got 4 state titles in a row.
Right.
So, yeah. I think 8A, there's not that many teams that are going to give them, a scare.
Yeah, I mean,
they're pretty much controlling their own destiny in there.
If you look at the rankings, I mean, it's Mount Carmel again.
Mount Carmel, Loyola, hopefully be up there again. Who else? Who else is in 8A?
Yeah, I mean, Simeon again is a team that could be has been back and forth the last few years. Yeah, I mean it's
the talent has been in 7A and really 5A.
Yeah,
I mean some of the most premier talent in the state as far as multiple teams.
Yep. So we shall see. This was our final preview. We will be breaking it down all season long. We'll be back with a show on week 1. We'll be previewing 5 games, and then after that, we'll be doing a recap show and a preview show every week, leading all the way up to the big showdowns in Champaign Thanksgiving weekend. So there you have it. Maine South, number 1, going for an unprecedented 4-peat. Dave and Sarah and company dominating Class 8A in the state of Illinois. And the Hawks are our de facto number 1 team in the state as the season begins. Check us out all the way through November here at IllinoisPrep.com.